This is Monkey World in Dorset, the largest ape and monkey rescue centre on the planet. Today on Monkey Life, 88 capuchins rescued from Chile wake up to their first morning at Monkey World.
We're just going to get as many of them in one room together and open all of the doors at once.
Chimp Rodders has a run-in with a sticky melon. And the park's naughtiest resident, Seamus, comes face-to-face with alpha male Butch.
He is actually frightened of Butch, and that's good, because then he'll mind his P's and Q's a bit, and then he's less likely to get a good thumping.
Monkey World is a thriving 65-acre sanctuary. Yesterday it was home to 170 primates. But this morning, that number has risen to over 250. And the new arrivals are all waking up. 88 capuchin monkeys rescued from Chile, South America, are being rehomed here. It's going to be a long day.
I wanted to get in first thing just to make sure that everybody did actually make it through the night and recovered and woke up this morning, because, you know, it's always possible that through the night when you relax, something could go wrong. Everybody's fitting with us this morning, so that's the first good news.
In Chile, the capuchins were kept in a laboratory where they were used for medical research. Most lived in solitary confinement. When their studies finished, the primates couldn't be released into the wild as they had become institutionalized. So Monkey World stepped in, offering all 88 capuchins a home. The Chilean Air Force flew the primates the 7,000-mile journey back to the UK. In the wild, 30 capuchins can live happily in one group, but the park is going to set up separate male and female enclosures because they don't want them to breed and they'll be less likely to fight. And that's going to mean 66 girls living together. Park director Alison's hopeful that the bigger the group, the more peaceful it'll be.
There's so much individual personality involved with each of these monkeys, and how traumatized they are, how forward they are, how shy they are. We're hoping that if we just put everybody in the playroom at once and open it all up, first of all, the sense of freedom that they're going to have for the first time in their life is going to bowl them over a bit. But just being confronted with 10 others all at once, who do you want to fight with? You know, you don't know anybody, and pick a face out of the crowd. You generally don't want to run into a mob and start a fight. Fights are generally one-on-one. So we're just going to get as many of them in one room together and open all of the doors at once.
And later, will it be happy families when the females move in together?
Everybody's so sort of freaked out by everything that's going on, including us, I might add.
And in the orangutan nursery, they're showing their wild side. Across the park, in the chimpanzee nursery, it's treat time. Juicy melons. Today, the youngest members of the group are about to get a lesson in how to get to grips with a great big sticky fruit roughly the size of their head. Normally, their food comes chopped up, so something this size is going to be a real challenge. In the wild, chimp youngsters learn about what to eat and how to eat it by watching and copying the elder members of the troop. Today's teacher is Sally. As the eldest in the nursery, she shows the way by breaking up her melon into neat, manageable pieces. It turns out that Ash is a very good student. The girl's careful, studied approach makes eating the fruit easy. Surely all the chimps are going to follow Sally's lesson as carefully as Ash. Then, along comes the naughty boy, Brian. The lesson's totally wasted on him as he takes his melon and just dives in head first. He's got a very sweet tooth, and there's no way that one melon's going to be enough for him. Unfortunately, Rodders hasn't been paying attention to Sally either. He's chosen to copy Brian instead. And the result is a very sticky chimp. Rodders has got himself in a real mess. While Ash remains clean and groomed by following Sally's example, Rodders has ended up with melon all over his fingers and he just can't work out how to get it off. So the lesson for the day is, be careful who your teacher is and never, ever choose Brian. The nursery group are now a happy and settled bunch, and this is mainly because the park's naughtiest resident, Seamus, has moved out of the nursery and in with the bachelor boys. In the nursery group, Seamus was getting out of control, and he'd often be too rough with the youngsters. Now, he's enjoying life with the naughty boys. He's met the majority of the bachelors and they all love him. Now the little hooligan gets to have a rough and tumble with bigger hooligans, and life's a ball. But today, it's time for him to meet the slightly unhinged alpha male, Butch. This meeting could go badly wrong, but animal director Jeremy's convinced it's just what Seamus needs.
With all the other introductions in the bachelor group, he's still the spoilt brat, and he's got away with it. He is actually frightened of Butch, and that's good, because it is good to be a little bit wary of the boss. You know, whereas everybody else, oh, he's just a lad, and he gets away with it, and then you've got a right hooligan on your hands, and that's not good. Whereas now he is very, very aware of Butch, and that's where I want him, because then he'll mind his P's and Q's a bit, and then he's less likely to get a good thumping. See what happens. Bung him in.
Seamus and Butch's last meeting was carefully supervised. This time, Seamus is on his own. Seamus is right to be wary of Butch, who can be very unpredictable, and Jeremy's going to be close by just in case. Seamus has made many friends in the group, and today the team have decided he should have his two best pals, Sammy and Jimmy, there for the introduction. He might just need the backup.
Good boy.
But luckily, it seems Sammy and Jimmy's presence is enough to keep Butch calm. Instead of wanting to thump Seamus, Butch's posture shows he wants to make friends and play.
Good boy! Good boy, Butch!
But Seamus is just too scared to let the boss get near to him. And he looks to his close pal Sammy for reassurance.
Hopefully in time, Seamus will realise that although Butch has got to be greatly respected, his say is gospel and law, he's just got to relax to it and find an area where he's comfortable. And I can't see that being a big problem. It's just letting him get on with it. And it's very clear that Seamus has got an awful lot of friends, which is good. He's just there now with Jimmy, and he can go and give Jimmy a hug, and he can give Sammy a hug, and and although Butch is dominant over those two, he doesn't really need to go to war with them.
And later, can Seamus stay out of the firing line when Butch reminds his boys that he is the boss? Back with the Chilean capuchins, the females are all being moved across the park into their new home, the lodge. Today, the team plan to get them all into the main playroom together.
Bring the boxes in. Number one priority is the monkeys out of the cold. And then the next one can sit on top of that one. Here's the bucket for bits and pieces.
Some final touches are being put in place to help them enjoy some playtime, something which they've never experienced before. Jeremy will open each door in turn, and the capuchins will be able to decide for themselves how quickly they want to come out, or if they want to come out at all. They've been in cages all their lives, and for some, the cage provides comfort and safety. It may take a while for the monkeys' newfound freedom to sink in. But soon, some pluck up the courage to explore. This is the first time the capuchins have ever climbed on natural branches, so it may take some getting used to.
So far, it's early days yet because everybody's so sort of freaked out by everything that's going on, including us, I might add, that they just don't really, nobody's going to be able to focus on any one person. There's just too much stuff to be messing with. My gosh, look at them all. Round one, monkey world.
This is the largest number of animals the park has ever introduced in one go. And as the team observe the capuchin's behaviour, it becomes clear that all those years trapped in cages have had an effect.
It's becoming very evident that these guys have never been out of those tiny lab cages because they really don't know how to control their sort of tails. They're sort of trying to reach for things because that's instinct, but they don't know how their tail really grips on the branches and stuff like that. So they're slipping all over the place, basically, and skittering everywhere, and they're not very stable right now. They're very good at climbing on the mesh, but anything beyond that, they're a little bit awkward on all of the ropes and flexible sort of branches and things that we've put in there, but this is all part of the learning process.
The capuchins seem to be willing to explore their new environment, and everybody hopes that this will be a new chance for freedom and friendship. But for some, rehabilitation may take some time. At Monkey World in the Chimp nursery, the group have finished with the melons and have moved on to their next treat, potato sacks. There's a lot you can do with a potato sack, and Brian has got a few ideas in mind. Hang on though, it looks like not everybody's finished with those melons after all. Just like kids, chimps can make fun out of anything. Brian's really enjoying the potato sacks. He even tries out a bit of nest building. This gets the interest of one of his best friends, Ben. There's no way that Ben's going to miss out on this play session. It's great to see Brian making friends. When he first arrived, he was shy around the others. But not anymore. Brian's shy days are definitely over. He's happy, lively and confident, especially around Ben. Brian had better make the most of Ben while he still can. Ben's 6 now, and along with his half-sister, Pip, it'll soon be time for them to move on to an adult group. But for the time being, Ben and Brian have still got a lot of playing to do. Later, how will Monkey World's resident female capuchin, Terry, cope when she moves in with the new Chilean girls?
I've not known her live with females before, so this is going to be a complete new experience for her.
Back with the Bachelor boys, the introduction between Seamus and Butch continues. Seamus is still avoiding Butch, and for now, Butch is leaving him alone. As the meeting is calm and going well, Jeremy's keen to let more of the bachelors outside.
Yeah, OK, if they want to get either somebody else safe lined up, either Mojo or whoever, or Spanish Charlie, that might be good.
Hopefully, with more of the group coming out, it'll distract Butch's attention away from Seamus. And sure enough, it does. But as Butch hasn't seen his boys for a while, he's quick to remind them that he is the boss. A quick slap is just Butch's way of asserting his dominance. And his outburst is enough to make Seamus stay right out of his way. But now Butch has made his point to Seamus and his group that he's in charge, he's keen to catch up with his old pals. So far, so good. But as always with the volatile bachelor boys, things can quickly change.
Let's see, it can all fall apart at any moment. And I'm more than comfortable with what we've got now.
Under Jeremy's watchful eye, the group will be left together, and hopefully Seamus will soon find enough confidence to make contact with his new leader. Across the park, the female capuchins from Chile are busy checking out their new home. And now, even the shyest monkey can't resist a bit of settling in. Before they were rescued by Monkey World, the park was home to just 4 capuchins from the British pet trade: Tom, TJ, Gizmo, and the only girl, Terry. She's lived with the 3 males for 7 years, but now the park is able to move her into an all-female group. Capuchins are sociable animals, and this should be a much healthier and more natural environment for her.
Hi, Terry!
I've not known her live with females before, so this is going to be a complete new experience for her. How the boys will feel losing their female, we don't know, but, you know, we'll see how that goes. But, you know, she's stable, she does her own thing, you know, and she's been a capuchin. You know, it's what they should be doing, you know what I mean? It's you know, we don't want pets. You know, we want to get a group of capuchins together that work together as a group.
Terry is curious about what's going on, but the team are convinced that this will be the right move for her.
In capuchin groups, the females will mix together and the boys will kind of hang out together. So this could hopefully be a really positive experience for Terry. She's very kind-natured, so we're expecting her to have lots of new friends. She's only been in for about 10 minutes and she's just moved through, I think.
She's right in here in the playroom.
Yeah, okay. So she's moved through to the playroom. How's she doing then?
Really well.
Really well.
Terry has immediately settled in, and hopefully she'll be able to show the other females how to behave like capuchins.
Even though Terry in the past has done introductions and either been frightened or aggressive or upset about meeting certain individuals at Monkey World, that's always been one-on-one, because when we pick them up from the pet trade in Britain, they come to us one by one because people keep them in solitary confinement, which is such a tragedy for them. That means you get an antisocial animal, you're trying to put it with another antisocial individual, and you just have conflict immediately, head to head. This, if you want to consider that, is almost a luxury in the sense that there's so many here that nobody can focus on any one individual and have an issue.
Eventually, all 66 females will live together alongside Terry, but it'll take time for the group to become completely stable.
Even if you get them all together, it's quite likely that problems will develop in the next couple of weeks as people start to assert themselves and a hierarchy develops. So we always want to keep track of who's who in the hierarchy and how that's functioning, so that we can make sure if any fights and disputes break out, who's fighting who and who's developing their own sort of troop and line behind them, and so that we can try and give them the best opportunity to all live together.
It's nearing the end of the day for the park's residents, and as some are preparing for bedtime, the toddlers in the orang nursery have been given baskets to practice bedding down in. In the wild, orangutans spend the majority of their time up high, and they build sleeping nests in the tree canopy. So it'll be interesting to see if any of the park's orangs are nest-building experts. It's foster mum Ame who spots the baskets first. She loves her naps, so this should be the perfect task for her. Unfortunately, she's convinced that the bedding is hiding some treats and chucks it out of the basket. The toddlers are busily throwing all the blankets out too, in the hope that there's something edible hidden in there somewhere. Ame just doesn't get it. She's thrown away the bedding, she's not found anything to eat, and now she's destroying the basket. Ame's the boss, so the youngsters follow her lead. It's been a complete disaster. What was supposed to be a nesting lesson has turned into a load of fun and a destructive play session. Well, as destructive as an orang can be, these primates are not the most active of creatures. And for an orang, this is about as rock and roll as it gets. Next time, it's the turn of the male Chilean capuchins to move home and meet each other.
The males are far more dangerous than the females. They've got good canine teeth, and if they fight, they can cause themselves a lot of harm.
Orangutan Kai shows off his acrobatic skills. And chimps Ben and Pip move out of the nursery. But they give wildlife vet John Lewis the runaround when he tries to sedate them.
Generally, if you're patient enough, they'll make a mistake. Don't think she had all of that, but it was not a bad shot.